emissora Rede Bandeirantes, desrespeitaram os brasileiros, vivem brigando por aí na internet, botando seus cachorros para ficarem discutindo, mas eles próprios são covardes. Não estão vindo aqui porque não têm coragem de falar sobre os crimes que cometeram. Lula com Lulinha, com Petrolão, com Mensalão, Flávio Bolsonaro com seu envolvimento com o Daniel Vorcaro, com seu escândalo de rachadinha. Covardes e canalhas. E vocês não ligam para as vidas dos brasileiros que morrem todos os anos por conta da criminalidade do crime organizado. Trazendo 3 propostas muito claras. Nós vamos declarar estado de defesa e colocar em GLO regiões tomadas pelo crime organizado, o que vai permitir, por parte das forças de segurança, tanto as nossas polícias quanto a Polícia Federal, atuar para destruir, para eliminar o crime organizado. Eu estou falando em passar a rapa nesses caras. 2, construção de superpresídios. Criar mais de 300 a 500 mil vagas com presídios em que não haverá mais o isolamento de facção. Faccionado vai estar todo mundo junto, porque nós vamos eliminar as facções. E 3º ponto, uma integração muito poderosa entre os estados. Estado que não quiser atuar na destruição do crime organizado sofrerá intervenção do governo federal. Vou dar um exemplo aqui, porque a gente não pode fugir. Ceará e Bahia, governos do petismo, governos desse cara aqui, ó. Esses caras têm vergonha e medo de enfrentar o crime organizado e estão deixando a população morrer. As estatísticas estão contra eles. O que nós vamos fazer? Se os governadores do Ceará e da Bahia forem reeleitos, eu vou fazer uma intervenção caso eles não desejem enfrentar o crime organizado. Essa será a guerra. Nós vamos enfrentar o crime organizado como nunca antes na história do nosso país. Eu conto com todos para fazer esse enfrentamento. Muito obrigado.
Obrigada, candidato.
Cartão C6 Carbon Mastercard Black para cada jogo.
Renan Santos, they're talking about, these 2 criminals didn't come. I don't think debates there's any law saying guys have to come. It doesn't mean that they're responsible or they don't care. I guess they just don't want to give them extra attention. They know both of them one of them is gonna win, right? So it's more like they don't care about it because they know the other guys don't have a chance. They're not gonna give them. No one's gonna want to watch the candidates no one wants to vote on debate for no reason because none of them are gonna win. But the thing with the Renan Santos, I didn't watch the debate, right? But I'm betting Renan Santos had a little too much sass for the old guys, even though I'm pretty sure Mission, his party Mission, is far right. Anything that's too far off, I don't like it. And I bet all the stuff he's pressing the same buttons that the guys like Bolsonaro, like if you press it, they go next to kill all criminals, things like that, right? We're gonna storm the favelas or something like that. But it's just buttons you press that they can't get pressed because it's gonna be too disastrous. You're not gonna have some situation like the Philippines, like with Duterte, or something like that, or they're talking about other figures, authoritarian as well, to imitate their model, to get some kind of broader, disastrous situation. Brazil, but he's talking about going against factions. Like, all right, but I don't know. I just think that when he's insulting, where is it? Right here. He's insulting. He's insulting candidates, voters. I think it makes sense to insult Flavio because he wants the voter for Flavio, right? So this is why Flavio, he's an idiot, right? You shouldn't vote for him. You should vote for me. And he says the guys who vote for Lula or I think he said Squadia, which is like low lives. But none of them. The guys are doing the voting. None of them are. The brains are going. I'm gonna write down a sheet of paper, like a comparison, pros and cons. And this is what he said he would do. He writes it on one paper. This is what this candidate said would do, and they compare all the candidates. Like, well, this guy talked about, killing criminals. It's like, okay, great. So maybe there would be more. Brazil would be safer, something like that. That's Flavio guys love that kind of rhetoric, right? Kill all the criminals. And but it's more like they look at the guy's face. It's like, what is he about? And the guys are voting for. A lot of guys are voting for Lula. I think they're thinking about it's they find him as a figure who's sympathetic towards people who are poor, right? because he's a guy who Brazil grew a lot during his first 2 terms. It grew exponentially, and people stopped being so poor. And if it was a conservative candidate, during that time when Brazil was really growing, it just would have been, no, don't worry, trickle-down economics will work. It wouldn't work, and you wouldn't get so many sectors, the Brazilian economy growing, not because there were socialist policies implemented, but, this class, there wouldn't be as much ascension in terms of people going out of poverty into a different, they call it like class C, D, C, B, A here in Brazil. They go, to be above in class A, you have to make over, I think 50,000 reais. I'm probably wrong here. Maybe above 15,000, above 20,000 reais, but a lot of people going up, right? So they just look at Lula and say, this guy is a guy who supports, I think, like looks out for us, looks out for people who are more humble. And the guys who are Flavio gets like all the middle class, right, who are disenfranchised a bit. Like, there's too much corruption, there's too much crime, no one ever does anything. Plus all the buttons he pressed, for poor people. So I don't know, kill all the criminals, something like that. I don't know. I think it's funny that figures like Trump or Bolsonaro never been elected if it wasn't for platforms like Facebook, right? So you get, even the media is kind of reasonable. We don't want to promote these guys at all, which is funny. I don't know. So the guys who like Lula will look at Renan's face. I think he probably, outdid the other candidates. I think the other candidates aren't as sharp. They must be much more reasonable politicians. I don't know what they're about. I'm just guessing. Because they're much more brand in their rhetoric, I guess. That's not what gets people riled up. I'd say that, the guys who vote for Lula look like Renan. It's just going to be like, it's just some young, rich kid who got into politics. Yeah, he's going to really, really look out for us. You guys who vote for Flavio won't mind voting for him, I guess, but I don't know. It's just the guys who vote for Flavio wish they were voting for Jair, right? So it's I don't know. I'm doing a very superficial take here, but yeah, neither of them want to go to the bungee because they don't have to. One of them's gonna win, right? So far, it seems like Lula's up about 7 points or something, and I don't know. I think it's too volatile to elect like Flavio, because it's approximation with Trump. While they're spouting things about the Monroe Doctrine, saying they're entitled to South America, like it's the backyard, taking pictures and stuff. And Espriella, the Americans already got a military foothold in South America thanks to them. It's not perhaps excessive, but you don't let the military power set foot in your country unless, you just don't do it. It's geopolitics 101. And they took a bunch of gold from the Venezuelans. Took a bunch of gold from the Colombians, right? And Trump saying he's going to use the oil he's going to get from Venezuela. It's going to pay for the Iran war, and things like that. Imbecilic. I don't know. It's just so stupid to me. It's like you want to elect a guy who might sell out his own country. And also, besides that, his father is in prison because he tried to get a military dictatorship going. Trump, got sanctions against the judge who sentenced Jair to prison, right? And Trump basically calling out, no, this is political persecution. You can't go after my friend. His friend wanted dictatorship. It's like they want back in the era where the United States was installing military dictatorships in South America. So when you had what's going to happen once he gets to power, Flavio, he's going to get his father out of jail. And if he wants to try to become a military dictator again, when they said Jair had a plan to kill Lula, so you're going to get the guy out of prison. The second he gets into prison, he's already going to start moving to get him out. You know why? He's only on house arrest. He's in a big mansion. That's his prison. right? He's in a big mansion. So he's going to get him out, and his brother's come back to Brazil, the one who got terrorist on Brazil, and it's going to be one big party. And Lula, at least everything stays stable, right? And the Americans don't get too creative in South America, I'm guessing. But I don't know. I don't know who won. I don't care that much, but I'm betting it's probably him. No, I don't know. But just by being sassy.